All praises, all power, all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Yahweh being the name of the Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh meaning he exists. Bahashem meaning in the name. Yahweh Shai, the Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai meaning he delivers, he saves. Bahashem in the name. Rakah Kodash, Spirit Holy. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akyam, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives through the four corners of the earth. To the Akwathium listening, learning in sincerity and in truth and in silence. Shalom. Akyam meaning brothers, Akwathium meaning sisters, Shalom meaning peace be unto you. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp. Here to turn with another lesson. I want to open with a scripture. Jeremiah 50, verse 31. Behold means look. I am against thee, O thou most proud. Right? The Lord is against the most proud. Who's the most proud? America. America the Great. Babylon the Great. The revised Roman Empire. Saith the Lord power of hosts, hosts being armies, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in the cities. Right? The Most High is going to kindle a fire in his cities. What's that fire? Ultimately, the thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. And it shall devour all round about him.
Mike Pompeo joining us now, former Secretary of State and CIA Director under President Trump. He's also a Fox News contributor. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for your time. We see all of this happening. We see China's threat rising daily. How do we respond to it?
Senator Bill, thanks for having me on. I know the Taiwanese foreign minister who you played the clip from earlier. He's precisely right. There could be an accident there that could escalate pretty quickly. The task for the United States is to protect the things that matter to Americans. And make no mistake about it, the business and industry that sit on the island of Taiwan, which should be recognized as a sovereign nation, is essential to American commerce. We need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to provide Taiwan with the tools it needs. Contrast that with what the Biden administration has done in Ukraine, where they've allowed this war to linger on. We should demand...
You see? And that's what this is all about. Right? The business industries in Taiwan is essential. I'm quoting him, roughly paraphrasing what he said, Pompeo, is essential to America's industries. Right? And what does Taiwan produce? Semiconductors, microchips. Scripture. Sirach. Sirach chapter 13, verse 4. If thou be for his profit, right? And that's the only reason these Idumeans are speaking about they'll send troops in, meaning we'll do everything we can do, right? It's all about the semiconductors and their resources, right? If thou be for his profit, Sirach 13 verse 4. If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee. Right? It's all about the semiconductors.
demand that the Chinese Communist Party stop this silliness. It wasn't Kevin McCarthy's meeting that caused them to do this. This is just a meeting between two people. This was an excuse to continue to constrict Taiwan's ability to operate as the independent entity that it has operated at for the last decades. The United States should behave with reciprocity. We should demand that the Chinese Communist Party conform to international rules in the South China Sea and not claim it all for their own like it's one big Chinese lake. These are the simple things we can do. And when
But this hypocrite, they go throughout the world. They go throughout the world, taking at will, right? And they're saying, you heard them there. We want to enforce that you can't go around taking. Micah 2, verse 1. And they covet, Salakia, Micah 2, verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence. Covet means to want what another man has. They covet fields and take them by violence. Listen, there's still American troops guarding poppy fields. Right? Take them by violence, their sword, and houses, and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right? The biggest bully on the block is America the Great, Babylon the Great. Revelation 6. Revelation 6 verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red. Right? Horse, symbolic of power. Red, these Idumeans. Esau, Edom. And power was given to him that sat thereon. Right? Power was given to him that sat thereon. This red horse, Esau, Edom, the Idumean, the so-called white man. To take peace from the earth. The Most High gave him that power. And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
And when you do that, Sandra, in the end, this is about deterrence. You have to convince the Chinese Communist Party that there are real costs for their bad behavior. And if they don't believe that, if I hear a president who says, gosh, a minor incursion into Europe might be okay, or they see a president abandon Afghanistan where we get 13 Americans killed, those are provocative. Those are the kinds of things that Chinese leadership will see as appeasing, and it puts American lives at risk.
I hear you saying, and I quote you directly, we should do everything we can, Mr. Secretary. Senator Lindsey Graham suggested this as far as troops in Taiwan. Listen.
Strategic ambiguity is not working. China, after Afghanistan, believes that the store is open, that you can go in and take whatever you want on Biden's watch. I'd be very much open to using U.S. forces to defend Taiwan because it's in our national security interest to do so.
Are you on board with that as well? U.S. troops on the ground to defend Taiwan?
Senator, we often talk about Taiwan in isolation. Think about this. Japan will almost certainly get drawn into this if there's an invasion of Taiwan. We have a security guarantee to support Taiwan, much like Article 5 in the NATO agreement. What we need to do is focus today on giving the Taiwanese the tools they need to make sure that this day never happens. That's what we did for 4 years, and we reduced risk to America. But when push comes to shove, the United States is going to have to be all in to protect American interests throughout the Pacific. That includes Taiwan, Japan, our friends and allies in Australia, South Korea. This isn't the American tradition. Let's get deterrence right, and we won't have to face that question.
So to be clear, that's a yes.
Yeah, we should do everything we can, and we should be doing it today, Sandra. That's the other thing. It's not a decision to make a month from now or 6 months from now. This is work that should be taking place even as we speak to reduce the risk that the Chinese Communist Party sees any kind of a green light towards invading Taiwan.
You have spent a lot of time criticizing the Biden administration and their tactics when it comes to foreign policy.
Listen, and the Lord is putting the spirit of war on these leaders. Proverbs 21, verse 1, right? The Lord is putting the spirit on these leaders. That war spirit, Proverbs 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. The king, these rulers, these politicians, these presidents, these secretary of states, these defense ministers, right? Their mind is in the hand of the Lord. Heart being mind. As the rivers of water As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, right? Whatever direction the Lord wants these rulers to go, they're going to do it. And right now the Lord is putting the spirit of bloodlust on them, man. Right? Or does it say in Lamentations 3 verse 37? This is not their doing. They're not in control. They're not in control. Their minds are in the hands of the Lord. Lamentations 3 verse 37. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass? Right? Who is he that says something and it comes to pass? Right? Right? What does that mean? Yeah, I'm gonna go into the North District, right? And then you go into the North District and it comes to pass, right? When the Lord commandeth it not, right? So if the Lord's not on board with it, it's not going to pop, right? And we know according to scriptures, war is going to pop off, right? We know according to scriptures, we're going to be hearing wars and rumors of wars, but the end is not yet. Mark 13, verse 7, red letter. And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, right? And these are rumors of wars, right? This is a rumor of war, right? And listen, China got a military, man. China's got uranium rods. China's got arrows, right? But pomp and proud America, we saw the clip. Those are war talks, but the Lord's putting the spirit on them to speak that way. The Lord's putting the spirit on Xi Jinping to surround Taiwan and flex his military might. Be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet, right? So these things, us in this truth, the hopeful elect, we know that we're not troubled because the Lord's telling us right here. Yahweh Shai is telling us right here. These things needs be, right? But the end shall not be yet, right? The end's not going to come. The ultimate end is the missiles, right? This is just the prelude. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows, right? The beginnings of sorrows. This is the beginning. Everything we see, the posturing, the grandstanding, this is just the beginning, right? War is going to pop off, right? But leading up into the wars, leading up into World War III, Jacob's trouble going to pop off. The mandate of the C to the H to the I to the P, the Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, that's going to take place before World War III. But we're going to see grandstanding, posturing, mobilizing, threats, right? Leading up into war. It's the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai putting the spirit on them to get ready for war.
Foreign policy and specifically on our current response to China's growing aggression and aggressive rhetoric. There's obviously, this is what people see as an opening for you when it comes to 2024, Mr. Secretary. If you say you're going to announce, and you said soon for quite some time, wouldn't this be the moment?
Senator, this isn't the moment. And I don't view foreign policy as an opening. I view it as central to the way that we all live here and how our kids and grandkids are going to live. Try to keep politics out of it when it comes to the things that matter to our security here in America. We'll have plenty of time to have that debate. Today is the moment to make sure that America gets this right, and the Biden administration has simply failed us all.
Got it. Mr. Secretary, really appreciate you joining us at the top of the hour today. Thank you for your time, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll await
Thank
that.
you, Senator.
Listen, I'm going to close with this scripture. Listen, man. Proud America. Isaiah 33, verse 1. And what did he say there? To make sure how our kids and grandkids going to live. Right? Proud, man. Right? The Lord is against America. Babylon the Great, America the Great. Isaiah 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. Right? Spoil means to rob, to take. Woe means destruction. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, right? America went through the whole earth taking, right? And no one took their shit. And thou was not spoiled, and deal treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, right? America gonna be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, right? They shall deal treacherously with thee, right? Ultimately, America the Great, Babylon the Great, will be destroyed with thermonuclear intercontinental ballistic missiles. Thus saith the scriptures. Stay prayed up, prayer without ceasing. Shalom to the hopeful elect.